Okay, we're ready to roll here. So we'll call the meeting to order. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You will go on with roll call.
Andy Mary,
Yes.
Jim Balzer,
Here.
Mike Boldig,
Here.
Noel Deep,
Here.
Wayne Gagnon,
Here.
Jeannie Long, Mary Neufeld,
Here.
Danny Pyatt,
Here.
JD Schrader.
Okay, and Jeannie's not on tonight, is that correct? She's not on at the moment. Not that we know of. Okay. We will go on to citizens and delegations. We'll start with public comment.
You have one, Andy?
Stephanie Bartletti, and
Hi, I'm Stephanie Barletti. I have a high school senior graduating this year. I'm just here to support the girls. I think they're here to talk about their plans. I don't exactly know what the plans are, but as a parent, I really feel strongly that it should be in person, like at Listle Field or at the Fairgrounds. I don't really support the drive-by. I think we need to, much like you guys said at the last meeting, it should be as normal as possible for them. And I also support possibly 4 people in person, just because of family and grandparents and split families and family like that. So we really have your support on having it at the Fairgrounds at Listle Field.
thank you. Okay, we'll go on to the student representative report.
Okay, so we have a couple things as we're wrapping up the school year. Spring sports officially start April 19th, and contact days have started for several sports already. The junior and senior classes have their proposals tonight for prom and graduation, which will come later. Student council is hosting a petty war next month to raise money for the school forest. And this week is finals week, which means we're coming to a close of third quarter, and we'll start fourth quarter after spring break, which is next week. And the district-wide art show is also now accepting submissions. It'll be virtual this year.
Okay, that'll be virtually on the school website?
Yeah.
Somehow. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, we will go on to the consent agenda.
I move the board approve the minutes from the February 23rd, 2021 Board of Education meeting. Financial report from February 2021, consideration of current bill checks number 4562 through 4620 in the amount of $153,052.97. ACH number 202100665 to 202100745 in the amount of $817,699.78. And one wire transfer in the amount of $12,861.23. For a total of $983,613.98.
Seconded.
Any questions or comments on anything in the consent agenda?
I do have one question. Tim, sorry I didn't send you this, but I looked at this today. And what is the cleaning bill that we paid for at All Saints?
That's part of an equitable services, equitable participation in the gear funding.
Okay.
So we have to share some of those grant monies with parochial schools, and they've elected to have a cleaning service do their portion as a use of that grant.
Thank you.
And the federal government requires that the public school act as the fiscal agent.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Then we'll go ahead with the roll call.
Balzer,
Yes.
Boldig,
Yes.
Deep,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Neufeld,
Yes.
Pyatt,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes. And we'll go to the COVID update.
Okay, a few points to make tonight. Our temporary remote students are at 23 right now. High school has 10, middle school 7, west 5, and north 1. We do have 1 positive staff and 1 staff in quarantine. The good news, though, with the vaccination clinic having started, we currently have 230 staff members partially or fully vaccinated, and that's approximately 78%. So, and I know I put it in week in review, but just for anyone else listening, the clinic run by Public Health at the Tech and with Darlene's help was so efficient and well set up. It was just like clockwork, so that was a huge benefit for us. The next topic under under COVID update is looking further into remote learning for next year at the middle school. So I had talked with Heather and Chris, the 2 administrators at the middle school, who in turn had reached out to all of their staff following the parent survey, the family survey that we sent regarding next year. And as you may recall, the interest in remote at the middle level was not very high. A total of 18 students, or 6%, were represented. So after talking with the staff, what the staff really would like to do next year is focus solely on in-person learning. Of course, everyone would be invited. And for those 18 students, we would help them make an informed decision like we did already this year with RVA, for example, or if someone wanted to explore Wisconsin Virtual School. The risk we run is, increasing open enrollment, but we already have students electing that option this year, RVA now this year when we offered our own remote instruction. So we don't see it as a huge difference, and just with the staff feeling so strongly that for that tender age, not as tender as elementary, but still just through grade 7, that a remote option would be best reserved for high school next year. So that's where the discussion is at this time. I meet with the high school administrators this Thursday with the plan then to reach out to their staff again with ideas for remote instruction next year. Probably the hottest topic on my update is, at the board's request, we reached out to all certified staff with the 4th quarter question: should we return to in-person learning on Fridays this school year, 4th quarter? We had 159 responses, which is pretty good, and each level, elementary, middle, and high school, had 30 to 35%, so it was well balanced. 92.5% encourage us to keep our current schedule with Fridays as fully remote, and 7.5% of course then want to return to in-person. The 2, because we asked the question on preference, and then regardless of what the preference was, what are the reasons for your preference? The greatest factor from staff, mentioned 33 times, was the stress level and having to turn around pretty quickly to have that ready and still do both remote and in-person instruction. So I had indicated I would share that with the board tonight, and so my suggestion would be that we continue on our current schedule for the remainder of the year and hit in-person learning all 5 days, of course, in the fall. So we did have 5, 6, 7 say our current schedule works really well for kids, and I wasn't expecting that, so I thought that was nice to see.
Spring, how many children do we have in that remote learning option?
good question. Heather, I just asked you this week how many you had remote learners in total.
Our current numbers are we're at 88% in person,
Okay.
and the rest are remote, so.
High school has the largest percentage still, I would say, but I think it's under 20%.
I'm not sure of the exact number.
Okay. And elementary, they've been dwindling the entire year, coming back in person fairly regularly.
In those, you said 35% of the responses were from elementary, middle, and were they all at about that 92% or 90%?
That was overall.
Okay, you don't have it broken down by,
I don't.
okay. Any more comments or questions on that?
No, just a comment on the COVID stuff, because I was looking on one of the local news stations' websites this afternoon, and Wisconsin has achieved #1 status in the nation for as far as having people immunized. We're at 1 out of every 4 adults, and I think they said have had at least 1 out of 4 eligible, and 9 out of 10 have had their second ones already, so we're doing some good numbers. So,
And your 78% is way above the average. It runs about 50 to 55% across the country for the vaccine acceptance. So, would you or Darlene know if the others we have not been able to vaccinate them? Is it by choice or is it lack of vaccine access?
Have we had lack of vaccine access, or is it staff not interested in the vaccine?
Good staff choice.
Okay. But those who wanted it, all of them got it though.
Every one of them that had wanted it has received it, yes.
That's
And we
great.
do have a couple more that have been changing their minds and slowly letting me know they are getting vaccinated, and they're on the list at public health for next week, or for later this week. So there are a few that still keep trickling.
Okay, so you work with public health, and any staff that wants to get vaccinated, you get them right on that list right away.
Yeah, they have a system that as soon as they click educator and they have the Antigo address, they automatically get moved up to the top.
All right.
Yeah. They've been, public health, I can't say enough about how well they have worked with the school district to make sure they could feel my frustration when I called them. It's like, when are we going to get ours, but as soon as they were able to, they moved our staff up to the very top and really worked hard to get our staff vaccinated last week.
Very good.
They're awesome.
Thank you.
So, any other comments on the COVID update here?
I think I'm glad that we were able to get the input from the staff. That is very crucial because I don't think we'd have made a decision and just put everybody back in-person learning, as much as we'd like to offer that in-person learning at the same time. As long as we have the remote learners, and if we have anywhere from 12 to 20% of the students still preferring that at this time, I think that would be unwise, I think, at least in my opinion, to push that through at this time.
Many echoed that sentiment and said thank you for asking for our input instead of telling us. So I think you were spot on there.
I had a lengthy discussion this afternoon with Pete Lewandowski, and he said that at this point, going to 5 days a week would just upset that apple cart even more. He said, so and the consensus among the teachers is they just like to keep this format through the end of the year. So.
Okay. Okay, so we will move on to new business. And item A is the approve the committee of the whole minutes.
I move the board approve the committee of the whole minutes from March 9th, 2021.
second.
Any comments or questions on the committee of the whole minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we'll go on to item B is a review of board policies, the 3,000 professional staff. And does anybody have any
Yep.
that they would like to talk about?
Well,
Go ahead, Mike.
in case anybody's interested, we have in the 3,000s, we have 46 policies and 33 administrative guidelines. And it makes for some pretty lengthy reading. But policies from my perspective all look to be pretty much current, up to date, and provide some good guidance to the district. The only thing I did find was in the administrative guidelines, AG 3362A and AG 3362.01, which are both for the guidelines for reporting threatening behaviors, appear to be duplicates.
Appeared to be what?
They're duplicates.
Oh,
I think .01 was probably the original, and then 3362A superseded it, so. But
okay.
that's the only discrepancy I could find.
Very sharp, Mike. Okay.
I can tell you how many policies we have in total, too.
I'm not sure I want to know, but I do know that the 4,000s are kind of like the 3,000s because they're, non-certified staff. And for a second, I thought about, oh, we should do them all together, but not too long.
Thank you.
So, okay, if there's no other comments on those, and I just want to say that when we find a policy here that we think needs to be changed, that Julie or Mary Kay will have to rewrite that, then it'll come back for the first reading and then come back for a second
Right.
reading. And for next month, we're going to go back to 0000 policies because they deal with the board, and there will be at least between 1 and 4 new board members on. And Barry Forbes recommended that we do that whenever we get new board members on. So we'll do that. Okay, then we'll move on to item C, WASB Annual Development Tool Analysis.
So we uploaded Barry Forbes' analysis for you to see. And while the board decided that in April, once we have, like Andy said, between 1 and 4 new members on, that's when we will determine what type of professional development we'd undertake. But the exciting news to share that came after Committee of the Whole this month is from WASB, and when you click on that first link, Chelsea Davis, who sent it to us, said, take a look at your longitudinal data. It looks like your board has made positive changes since last year's survey. Lots of green cells. So I'd like to draw your attention for a significant celebration starting on page 10. That longitudinal comparison is between, you can see, 1920 and then when the board took it again in 2021. And so you have pages of improved scores from one year to the next. And it is very noteworthy that only one score stayed the same and one went down minimally. So I think that's a remarkable celebration like Chelsea does. And then at the end, you'll see the equity questions, which we had discussed last time, are new. So that's why it says NA there. So that'll be something to watch as we score on those and then how we do in the future. So just my compliments to the board, and then it'll give you time to look this over before we decide on how to proceed with development.
Okay, that's great, and thank you to all the board members for taking the survey. And we still left room for improvement next year, so. Okay, item D, Novoken Lodge Project Summary.
I had a conversation with Mary Kay, and I originally thought that this would be under the consent agenda. So I had a brief summary that we originally uploaded to the board. This afternoon I looked at it. And for brevity's sake, I didn't include the information from the original portion of construction. So I'm just going to spend a real quick minute going through what you have in your packet. It includes more detail than was originally posted. So if you look at the first page of that document, that's just basically a project summary. And the activity that I have to report in the last month is essentially on the preceding pages. But you can see there we have, on the total contract there, we have $593,000 that have been expended. And funding available to date is $191,824. This report includes the anonymous donation we received that we'll acknowledge later in the meeting. If you look at the next page, this is kind of one of our working documents. And this is what we would consider like is our pay application, and it provides us detail. And this one happens to be something we call retainage. So in the next 2 pages of the document, so it's pages 3 and 4, is how we're accounting for each project payout. So we've got, within the whole contract as a summary, we've broken that contract down into phases or projects. And within that project, with each application for pay, we're tracking completion of that project. And as that project proceeds, there's something called retainage. So we want to make sure in the end that we're getting the building that we're getting. And we've got a variable retainage. And what this pay application, we've had a really good working relationships with Swan's Custom Homes. They're doing a very nice job in the building. So when you think of a 6-month period of time, and we're only going to pay them 95% of a project, and that project is long since completed, we're holding on to their money, and they've already paid their contractors full price. So when we receive lien waivers, so we requested a lien waiver, and when we look at like concrete as an example, when that was done last October, when we get a lien waiver from Schwann's, this is the first time we agreed to release retainage. So on those various phases, we're saying we've got full lien waiver for the full amount, we'll go ahead and release that. So we released $14,377 in this pay application. Moving further on down, questions on that process or anything? So then as we go to, you're looking at page 5 of the document is a change order. And that's the level of detail, and we're giving Jake Leiterman a little bit of discretion. And you can see the level of detail for change order number 6. And that's brought to the School Forest Committee. And you can see the overall net effect of that. And then we've got our standard, this is the second pay application 10. And then you can see Schwann's was requesting $39,616. And again, this is our system of tracking that change. And if you, as an example, you can see some of the items would be 100% above the original contract. I think that's on page 8. For example, the requirements to finish. So you'll see that the completion is at 102% of the original contract. That includes change orders such as we had a little additional lumber escalation clause. We had a sheetrock escalation clause, and that's why those numbers would be above 100%. And then if you take that number, you can see we haven't released on that particular line item where it says 102. We still are retaining 5% of that project because we don't have any waivers to release that. So that's essentially how we're tracking. Jake is going over each one of the change orders, if there is any, and we're getting down towards the very near the end of the project. So we are currently working on a change order for cabinetry, and you're going to see that coming through at a later part of the meeting. So that's really the summary of the book.
the bottom line is we think this is gonna be ready to go by May sometime.
I think we will have the balance of the construction, most of the construction done, yes. We have things like, I think, the cabinets. We know that we need to improve lake access, and we'd like to get that done over the summer so that we can get ADA access down to the water and get the grass in. Hopefully, we can have it available for maybe the latter half of summer school, and certainly for the start of the school year.
Yeah, and I know they've been working to get this done, because I went to Jack Lake 2 or 3 weekends ago on a Sunday, and they were there drywalling on Sunday, so I was kind of surprised. But good. Any other questions or comments on that? Okay, we will move on to item E, 2021 prom planning update.
Hello, my name's Anna Evans,
I'm Calvin Jansen.
and I'm Claire Meisla. And today we're here seeking your approval for our prom ideas. Last time we were here, we got the okay to start planning, and so we've been working with a lot of administration to come up with the idea that is best for our situation. So.
So we would really like to have it at the multipurpose building at the Fairgrounds. It is preferred by our health administrators like Dr. McKenna and Nurse Jansen. It has 25,000 square foot, so more than our gym. It seats 1,700 with tables and chairs. It has already been donated to us for free. And we are able to adjust the garage doors to the height we would like to make sure it is safe so no one can come in and out and we can still get enough ventilation.
All right, so for our Grand March, we plan to start at the regular 7 o'clock start. We are not allowed to do an outdoor Grand March due to safety concerns. So we plan on virtually streaming it through through Annual Media Productions, which does the hockey games and all that. They have plenty of broadband to take care of that. And then it'll be posted on YouTube, and possibly we'll be getting a personal copy of it.
All right, and then for our crowning ceremony, we will have it right after the Grand March, as usual. And we were thinking that maybe we could possibly get the court parents to attend, if that's okay. And then the parents, sorry. And then if the parents are allowed, then the crowning would happen at the main entrance. So then the parents would still be outside with that lots of distance between them.
Our dance will be from 8 to 11. We would like to have obstacles just set in random places so people purposefully social distance and have to be around them. And for our DJ, they will be set on the stage so no one can go anywhere near them in case if they're out of town. And we will not have any walkout song requests.
For our seating plans, we're going to have your groups of couples will have designated seating with your place card, so it's basically like assigned seating for tracking in case that needs to be done. Tables will be social distance from each other. Bottled water will be provided at each table, but no food will be allowed. And they offer their chairs and tables to us that are already there as well.
All right, and then our theme for prom is masquerade. And we chose this to encourage mask wearing. And if people refuse to wear masks, they will be asked to leave. And those are our ideas so far.
Anna, when are you planning on having this?
May 1st.
May 1st, okay.
I was just curious, what are the safety concerns to having Grand March start outside?
It's just we're all out in the open. They just want us to be safe.
Yeah, we talked to Officer Schillings and he said it would be best to just, well, we originally had an idea of like a walk through Grand March where cars walk through and couples stay, but Officer Schillings preferred the method of the inside virtual streaming.
Okay,
So,
all right, thank you.
I think due to past reasons in the past.
Yep,
so.
okay. Eddie?
Did a great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Dr. McKenna will be there, I suppose. Make sure that. Just checking.
You must be a fan of Shark Tank because your presentation reminded me I was watching that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think it's a good plan, and thank you for working on it, and,
We have to
Yeah.
approve this.
Thank you so
thank you guys. No,
much.
we don't approve it.
Thanks for
We just
being here
watch it.
tonight.
Thank you.
Good job.
Have fun.
So, only question, is this only the junior class or are we allowing the senior class? Because they didn't have that option last year.
I don't know.
I believe seniors will be.
Junior, senior prom, yeah.
Say it again.
I believe seniors will be invited as well.
Should we follow up?
Does somebody want to clarify that question from,
Is it only the junior class students who will be attending or can the senior classes also attend?
Juniors and seniors.
Okay.
Good.
Because they didn't have one last year.
You didn't have one last year.
With your co-host.
Yes.
That's good.
okay, we'll go on to the graduation planning update. Come on up.
We don't bite, we don't hear anything. That we don't.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gracie DeWan.
I'm Alex Day.
I'm Heather Arlen. Should be a presentation. Look it up.
Is it on?
Is it on there?
I don't know.
Dustin, is it coming up from you, or is it?
Well, no, you can grab it.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay, so we gave our class the option to vote on our graduation because we've been having a really hard time planning it this year with all of the things we have to go around. We don't want to decide for our class that we want a drive-through if we don't know that's what they want and everything. So we sent out a survey. I'll let you run the computer. And we had 4 different proposals. We had a drive-in graduation, which is a combination of like a drive-through and like a kind of like a drive-in movie you would watch and see the whole thing. You can stay, your family would stay in your car. You could have whoever you wanted in your car. And then we had a drive-through graduation, the same as last year. And then for our outdoor options for a more traditional graduation, we had Bristol Field or the Fairgrounds. Graduation is May 30th. I was going to say, this is the old one.
In your board packet, you have the updated one.
Okay. Well,
Would you like to use my computer?
Or Mike's?
do I just plug it in right here?
Or you can look at my phone.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
So for our first survey, the results were really close. We had, if you would look at the survey based on the percentages, a drive-through graduation won, but if you added the numbers together for both of the outdoor options, that would have won. So we decided, well, our officers were confused on what to pick. We were 2 and 2 split, like, should we go off the chart or send out another survey? So we decided to send out another survey and get just a confirmation of what our class wanted. And they voted
for the Listle Field option for outdoors. But I think what we're trying to get to is that we're only guaranteed 2 tickets for sure, and we're really looking for a confirmation of 4 because it's important to have our family there and have them to support us since they're the ones who helped get us there.
How are you guys, are you at Listle, where are the graduates gonna be? On the field, on chairs?
No, so the intent, and we still have to fully get, the bleachers that we're gonna use are from the hockey building.
Okay.
And I want to, when we started talking about this, we still had snow cover, so this week I actually wanna get out there, flake some stuff, mark some stuff out, and confirm exactly, but just using rough measurements based on, you know, the size of our, you know, I know some of the numbers just off the top of my head. The intent would be to line up the bleachers where they normally sit, and all the students would be in the bleachers.
They'll be in the bleachers?
Yep.
Okay.
And they would be socially distanced. Then we'd have a small stage, big enough for board members, a podium, the normal stage setup, and we would place that. We're still trying to decide how we orient it, if it would be directly towards the students, directly towards the seating, or try to do some sort of a 3-sided type presentation so everybody can see right. But then the majority of the seating for the parents would be in the field itself. Okay. Then the idea to help control, you know, on entrance and exit with groups of people is try to split up by last name, if you will. You know, this parking lot would be for A through K. The main parking lot through another group, and then we can put some over by the, like, football practice field. And there's different entrances into that field, so we try to make as many options so we can reduce the number of people that are in one spot at a time. And then on the field, we'd have pods of chairs, hopefully 4, and we would set those up. The pods would be obviously all 4 next to each other, but then they would be 6 feet apart from the next pod of 4.
And how many kids are in your graduating class?
175? Yeah, 175.
Well, that infield should
About
be big
1,000
enough.
people altogether, close to 1,000.
Don't you think that infield would be big enough for everybody to have 4 tickets? And you know, you're gonna have some people that they're not gonna use all 4 tickets.
Like I said, my preliminary measurements would suggest 4, yes.
4 tickets for each.
Yep.
I think too, from an incident standpoint right now, and the way vaccination has been going, and the increasing sort of movement of the state in terms of, like, in May, people will have broader access to vaccination at many different age groups. I think as long as things continue the way they are, I think that's an incredibly reasonable thing to do. Outdoor events are very safe, generally, and certainly if people are wearing masks, you know, that creates even a greater degree of safety.
I think it's a great
Anything to
idea.
get back to some semblance of normality, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
The only
I
thing
think
is
4
that
would be good.
I'd probably look at how you orient the stage and everything, because if you have the parents sitting there and the students are behind, how do you do that is the biggest question.
Okay, but I hate to bring this up, but what happens if it rains?
Wait
Or
for a couple,
snows?
3 hours. If snow?
Well, so what,
We live in Wisconsin.
yeah, it can happen.
It changes weekly.
Do you have,
Our
rain plan?
backup idea was just we can go with the drive-through if we have to, if it's raining. To
Okay.
still have it on the same day, so nobody's plans are
Sure.
changing, or try and change the date, and they're going on vacation, or
Mhm.
you'll have half your class gone. But that's really just a
It's not
last.
gonna rain that day.
Is a
Yeah.
backup plan,
It's not gonna rain.
you know, like Dr. Deep said, it usually doesn't rain all day, and I know this from experience. So is postponing it 2 hours, is that a plan?
I think that could definitely be an option, yeah.
Okay.
When you plan for 2, you can move it at 4 or make it at 1, and then you can do 3 or 4, whatever. I don't think it rains all day long.
Well, I
Fingers
see
crossed it
four.
doesn't. Maybe our luck.
Okay.
I see no reason not to let them have 4 tickets per family.
Yeah.
To me, it just,
I think 4 is good.
It would make
It just
parents
makes sense.
very happy.
And it'd be nice to encourage people to get their vaccines and everything. That's a nice way to, help our community get to that.
Yeah, it's not likely that county health would move parents of graduates up to the top of the list.
Well, May 1st, they're aiming for the general public, and the way we are going right now, you have anybody over the age of 16 with any health problems or even a BMI over 25, which would be many people that I see. Everybody would have a chance by the end of May, even if you started vaccinating May 1st, you'd have your second dose in somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Something is better than nothing.
So it's likely a lot of people will have one
Most
dose.
of them would be.
Okay, so that sounds good. I'd say continue your work.
4 tickets.
4 tickets?
4 tickets.
Okay,
That is
okay.
scalping.
Thank you guys, you did a good job.
Being here.
Remember us poor folks.
That's right.
When he said the BMI index, he said the BMI index.
Okay, let's continue on then with, we'll move to board action items. And the first one is consideration to approve the district's continuous improvement goals for 2020-2024 as presented.
So what you see in front of you is the short version, just the goals that we presented. There were several of us here last month. And so we're just asking for your final approval and start widely publishing them with our public and others.
I move the board approve the district's continuous improvement goals for 2020 to 2024 as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then we will move on to item B, consideration to authorize retirement HRA district contributions.
I move the board authorize administration to transfer funds from the salary budget to the Fund 73 Trust for the purposes of making a contribution to the district's HRA plan in an amount not to exceed $120,000 and expand the plan from a premium-only HRA to one that includes IRS-eligible expenses.
Second.
Okay. Tim, did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Right now, we have 84 teachers are eligible for the benefit. 6 retirees are eligible for an additional contribution. The Fund 73 Trust is something that I'd like the flexibility, if required, to add an additional contribution so that we can look at that particular class of employees that I talked about that are not going to have an equitable benefit, and give us that flexibility to possibly put that money in early and amend the plan in future years as we accumulate forfeitures.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? And we would go ahead with the roll call.
Bolduc,
Yes.
Deep,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Newfeld,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Balzer,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes. We'll go on to item C, consideration to approve high school English classroom shelving quotes.
I move the board approve the quote of $26,416 from A Plus Cabinetry for high school English classroom shelving. Second.
Okay, we got a presentation on this at the COW meeting. Any questions or comments? Then we'll go with the roll call vote again.
Deep,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Newfeld,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Balzer,
Yes.
Bolduc,
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes. And we'll go on to item D, consideration to approve staff laptop purchase.
I move the board approve the bid of $39,270 from CCCP for the 2021-2022 district staff laptops.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this? And Mark talked about this at the cow meeting.
Yep, just that he did indicate that there was an additional 2 laptops above and beyond what was originally presented at the call meeting.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Gagnon?
Yes.
Newfeld?
Yes.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Balzer?
Yes.
Boldig?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes. We'll go on to item E, consideration to approve East Elementary asbestos abatement bid.
I move the board approve the bid of $19,800 from Environmental Plant Services Incorporated for East Elementary asbestos abatement.
Second it.
Okay. Questions or comments here? We talked about it also at the cow. We'll go ahead with the roll call.
Newfeld?
Yes.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Balzer?
Yes.
Boldig?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Gagnon?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes. And we'll go on to item F, consideration to approve the in-pocket lunch table quote.
I move the board approve the quote of $21,645 from Marshfield Book and Stationery Inc. for 3 middle school in-pocket lunch tables.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll
Just
call.
thank you to Jake because you got the other quotes that needed to fulfill the policy.
Yeah, yep, and that was different from the last meeting, and then
Yep.
Yep.
the epoxy flooring, same case, I'll bring that back next month.
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll go ahead with the roll call.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Balzer?
Yes.
Boldig?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Gagnon?
Yes.
Newfeld?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes. Item G, consideration to approve Schofield Stadium sod replacement bid.
I move the board approve the bid of $19,065 from Black Creek Sod for Schofield Stadium sod replacement.
Second that?
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Now that's the gridiron that's paying for this, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead with the roll call vote then.
Balzer?
Yes.
Boldig?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Gagnon?
Yes.
Newfeld?
Yes.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes. And on to item H, consideration to approve track resurfacing bids.
I move the board approve the bid of $147,557 from Fisher Tracks Inc. for the Little Field track resurfacing.
Seconded.
And any questions or comments?
Where's this money coming from? They don't have a track booster club, do they?
No, the question is, where's the money coming from, Jake?
Is this coming out of a,
Most of it is gonna come out of Tom Schofield's budget area.
okay.
Through some adjustments with COVID.
Okay.
We've ended up with a surplus this year, and this has been a big
Something
project
needs
that
to be
we've
done.
been kind of hoping to fall into some good luck, for lack of a better term, and be able to bite this off in one swing. The remainder will come out of mine.
Okay.
But, as Tom's budget gets spent down with spring sports, we'll know those exact numbers, but it should be somewhere around 65% Tom, the remainder for me.
okay, great, thank you.
Okay, anything else? And another roll call.
Boldig?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Gagnon?
Yes.
Newfeld?
Yes.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Balzer?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes. Item I, consideration to approve the 2021-2022 CISA 9 shared service contract.
I move the board approve the 2021-2022 CISA 9 shared service contract in the amount of $87,714.
Second that?
Okay. Any comments or questions on this? We'll go on to the roll call then.
Deep,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Newfeld,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Balzer,
Yes.
Goldig,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes. And item J, consideration to approve fall 2022 Start College Now students.
I move the board approve the fall 2022 Start College Now students as presented.
Second that?
Any questions or comments on this?
I just think it's such a wonderful opportunity that these kids are given to be able to, they can find out if nursing isn't really what they want to go into. I think it's a great opportunity, and good luck to them.
Okay. Then we'll go on with a roll call for that too.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Newfeld,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Balzer,
Yes.
Goldig,
Yes.
Deep,
Yes.
and Mary.
Yes. And item K is report of district new hires.
I move the board approve the new hire, Eileen Hartle, housekeeper.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call.
Newfeld,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Balzer,
Yes.
Goldig,
Yes.
Deep,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes. Item L is report of employee resignations and retirements.
I move the board approve the following retirements effective at the end of the 2021 school year. Rick Block, high school social studies teacher. Lila Gallenberg, high school English teacher. Leanne Hendrickson, fifth grade middle school teacher. John Nedden, high school math teacher. And Pam Woods, sixth grade English language arts teacher. And the resignation of Hannah Burmish, high school English teacher.
Second.
And I'd just like to say that the 6 retirements were all people that, when I was still working, that they've been dedicated employees of the district and live in the community and give back to the community. And I hate to see them go, but it's their time. So a big thank you to them.
Okay, and
Oh, I did, if you read Leanne Hendrickson's letter, she did indicate that she would be open for an exit interview with me, so I did meet with her after reading that. She shared a really interesting thought on her ELA curriculum, which I in turn shared with Amy, but for example, she has so much experience, and what she noticed with our current resource is that something like inferencing, when a student reads and then is asked to make these connections and thoughts, is not explicitly taught with our current resource. Now, Leanne, with all of her years of experience, she is well aware of that gap and then had the knowledge and the skill set to just supplement with her own lessons, so to speak, a mini lesson, make sure the kids get it, because that's highly tested on the forward exam. So what she did was share that with one of our CISA 6 coaches who made note of it, and because Leanne's concern was for a younger teacher without that experience, he or she might not know to do that. So I appreciated Leanne's time, and then she did talk about science, and it was her passion for environmental issues, and I had a discussion with JCAT Colt then about how we practice recycling, et cetera, as a district and a community. So it was a good conversation, but since the board read that, I wanted you to know I met with her.
okay. Any other questions or concerns on the?
No, we just wish them all well in retirement and thank them for all their years of dedication to the district and the students, because they will be missed.
And we
Are they having any exit interviews for people?
Yes, unless the board tells me otherwise, we still contract with David Hamelman, an independent exit interviewer then who contacts every employee, and then periodically sends us the updates, and I share the trends with the board.
Okay, anything else? Then all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and so that passes. We'll go on to item M, report of donations.
I move the board accept the following donations. $250 from Optimist Club of Enigo for the Red Robin graphics, $1,000 from Enerpac for Drama Club, $125 from FFA for Navokan Lodge building project, $65,000 from the Elvin Remington Foundation for Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center filter replacement project, $250 from Enigo FFA Alumni Association Limited for the FFA District Speaking Contest, $4,084 from AMS Music Department for the Navokan Lodge building project, $50,000 from anonymous donor in memory of Julie Langsett for the Navokan Lodge building project, $300 from Joe McKenna for the Mary Dwan Block at Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center, and $300 from John and Elsa McKenna for the Mary Dwan Block, Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center, for a total of $121,309.
Second.
If I could give just a little shout out for Tammy Molina and her middle school students. They've been selling candy bars all season long. And they chose us as their donation to give to. And I just think that's just really cool for middle school kids to get behind that.
And Tim, that was both the band and the middle school choir that was part of that, not just Tammy and Lydia's group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a really nice little fundraiser.
Yeah, that's great, and I hope they're gonna get some good use out of that facility.
And we'll never know the anonymous donor, will we? My gosh, that is amazing.
We've said all along that our community is generous when it comes to
Yep.
doing stuff like this, and for someone to step up like that and to honor one of our departed educators is,
Yeah.
it's pretty huge. It's cool. And we thank them beyond belief.
Yes. Okay, unless there's any other comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we will confirm the next meeting will be Tuesday, April 27th. Here. And that will be a reorganizational meeting. Will be part of it, is that correct, Mary Kay?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I like how you say correct, Mary Kay, and I'm like, mm-hmm. We just answered